There's a concept lately that I've been thinking about with anxiety that's really helpful for me. I'm often anxious, and one of the things that I find myself anxious about the most is productivity. I have so many things that I want to get done, and I'm scared that I'm not going to be able to get them done for a variety of reasons. Um, One thing I think I fear from that is a lack of provision, that I won't have the things that I need if I don't get my to-do list done, if I don't get my homework done. I think I probably find my identity in productivity as well. There's other things I think I feel like a failure if I'm not productive. Um, there's other things we could talk about there, but a concept that I've come back to a few times recently is the idea of Abraham and Isaac. And I find with the things that I value and the things that I'm anxious about, even if it's not productivity, I find that my anxiety is driven by an inability to let that thing go. We are anxious about the things that we value. There's that fear associated with anxiety. Fear is a strong emotion, you could call it, and our emotions are tied to the things that we value. I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, so in that moment, I'm driven by my desire and my emotion and that thing that I value. And I find that it's hard to be anxious and be willing to let that thing go. If I go, maybe I don't get this thing done. I have an hour left before I have to go to bed. Maybe I don't get this thing done before I go to bed. What's going to happen? Is that okay? Am I okay with that? Do I trust that God will provide for me, even if I don't get that thing done? Do I trust that I'm his child and he loves me and that I'm enough for him, even if I don't get this thing done? And I find when I'm able to actually honestly say that it's going to be okay, that it's not the end of the world if I don't get this thing done, then suddenly I find my anxiety going away. And now I'm able to actually get that thing done. When I was gripped and controlled by anxiety, I wasn't able to be productive and get that thing done. The circularity of anxiety, it's often a self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm afraid that I won't be productive, and I'm so afraid that it keeps me from being productive. It's an awful curse that it is that self-fulfilling prophecy and that it's so circular, but the circularity actually works in reverse as well. When I don't make productivity my idol, or whatever I'm valuing my idol, then I'm actually able to have it. And again, Abraham and Isaac is a beautiful analogy of that. Abraham is willing to let go of his prized possession, Isaac. And what do you know? God gives him back to him. And I don't think that's, if you're going to say that there's a main point to that story, I don't think that's that main point to that story. I'm not trying to get into, I like Jordan Peterson, but I'm not trying to get into his sort of archetypal Carl Jung reading of the Bible. But I even if it's just helpful to look at that story, I think you could say that that's one point of that story. And even if it's just helpful to look at that story as an analogy for what this is like, because in my experience, this is true. When I let go, then I actually receive back that thing. When I take this thing and turn it into an idol, then I'm anxious about it. When I let it go, it's not an idol anymore, and now I'm able to enjoy it as a gift. But when I take the gift and make it everything, it becomes perverted, and I'm not actually able to truly enjoy it as it is. And you could probably say there's a lot of things in life that are like that. And I think there's actually some helpful insights from this. I think this shows that what God really wants is our hearts. Whether the kingdom of heaven is not a matter of eating and drinking. These physical things, it's not the main point of the kingdom, although the kingdom will be a physical place with eating and drinking. God cares the most about our hearts and our faith. I just looked it up. First Peter says that tested faith is more precious than gold. It's imperishable. It's more valuable than things that are temporary. And this is very similar to 2 Corinthians as well. We look to not to the things that are seen, but to the things that are unseen. For the things that are seen are transient, but the things that are unseen are eternal. I really should have filmed this. I thought this would be like 2 minutes long, and now it's going to be like 8 minutes long. And I should have filmed it in landscape, because I thought it would be a short, but it's not short anymore. But, I mean, you're probably watching this on your phone. I really do prefer landscape. Anyway, little side trail. God cares the most about our hearts. We look not to the things that are seen, but to the things that are unseen. For the things that are seen are transient, but the things that are unseen are eternal. The things that are eternal, that are currently unseen, are the things that really matter the most. If I'm not going to get too Gnostic, where I just simply elevate the non-physical, which is wrong. But I think you know what I mean. God cares the most about our hearts. God cares the most about us drawing near to Him. Whether we get the thing done or not is really not the most important thing. Whether we enjoy this gift right now is really not the most important thing, this gift that we're idolizing. This also connects to 2 other verses that you are probably very well aware of. Jesus in the garden says, "If possible, take this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done." The cup was the cup of God's wrath and the cup of God's suffering. Jesus knew what he was about to face, and he said, "Not my will, but yours be done." It's a good thing to want to not suffer. It's a good thing to not want to be crucified and scorned and beaten up and rejected and mocked and deserted by everyone you love. It's good to actually desire to not have that happen to you. But Jesus is willing to let that go. And a lot of the values and things that you desire and gifts that you value are good things. And it's not that you shouldn't value them at all. It's that you've made them the main thing. And you know that you've made it the main thing and you've idolized it when you're not able to say, "Not my will, but yours be done." But Jesus is able to say those words. There's another passage, which I'm sure you're also probably aware of. "Seek first the kingdom, and all these things will be added to you." These things that you want, productivity, earthly provision, not being rejected by everyone you love. Maybe that example doesn't work as well, because we will suffer for the gospel, but maybe there's some application there as well. I don't know. We often do end up receiving those things when we seek first his kingdom. And I don't mean this in like a prosperity gospel kind of way, obviously, where, we seek him and then he gives us Lamborghinis. But often the things that we value, we do end up receiving them when we're willing to lay them down and put him first. Jesus says, if you want to follow after me, you have to be willing to lay all these things up. But if you seek me, you will receive back 100 times all these things that you have given up. Houses, mothers, fathers. Clearly it's not completely literal, because you're not probably going to receive 100 mothers. But maybe you will receive awesome fellowship with believers that you call your family. So I hope this is some helpful food for thought. It has been for me, and I hope it will be so for you as well.